everyone, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video I thought I'd do something a little bit different and show you all how I document some of my travels. Now the photos that I'm using in today's scrapbook tutorial, I'm no expert, but just to show you what I do with my photos. These photos are actually from my Disney Cultural Exchange program in 2017. And yeah, so I'm going to be scrapbooking these photos today for you. I'm doing it in a 6x6 scrapbook. Today sometimes I'll use the 12x12s, but for this one I've got a smaller scrapbook, so hopefully you enjoy. And yeah, this is how I like to, when I've got time, which I have plenty of that at the moment, I like to document my, my photos. I like to use different colours, patterns. I like to matte my photos. I don't know, I just think it's quite nice when they're matted onto a different colour to the background. And so I just picked a few from my paper stash that I've got. A lot of them are double-sided, as you can see. And then I've also got different stickers. Stickers are usually my favourite. Most of these will probably be from Hobbycraft, but a good couple of years old. I think the odd thing is from Tuesday Morning in America. I remember I went to one in Palm Springs because I'd seen someone on YouTube who I watch really recommended Tuesday Morning. Her name's Tina. I'll pop her name in the description below. She does some really great YouTube videos of scrapbooking, and she has a really good scrap room with loads of equipment and loads of sheets and stickers and everything. But yeah, so I'm just showing you what kind of stickers I may use. As I go through I do change my mind quite a bit. I move stuff around, but hopefully you'll find this interesting and maybe want to scrapbook yourself. But it is great, and it's just nice to do something where you're not actually looking at a screen and you can be a bit creative. I really enjoyed it. So to start off, I decided to cut the polka dot paper so it covers most of the brown sheet, just because I wanted that as the backdrop. So, I mean, I'm not the most professional with scrapbooking. I kind of just do stuff and wing it. So with this, for example, I could have used a ruler, but I obviously couldn't really be bothered. So I've just cut the edges, and what I'll do is I'll try and cut them as straight as possible. And then what I do is I have a separate I can't think what the word is, cutting machine. Oh gosh, what's the word? I'll remember as soon as I finish the video. But yeah, anyway, I do this. I cut the paper, and then what I'll do is I'll even up the edges to make sure they're nice and neat with my cutter. Mine isn't actually that big. You can get them a lot bigger than the one I've got, so I have to do this manually first before I can cut it. So after I've cut the polka dot paper, I just kind of move it around a bit to check that it'll fit on the page. And what I normally have is it's a double-sided tape, kind of like glue gun kind of thing, so I don't have to cut anything. But unfortunately I've ran out of that, so I'll need to try and order some online. So what I'm having to use is double-sided tape, which is fine to use. It just takes a bit more time than being able to just use one thing. So what I'll do is I'll stick it to the back and then stick it down. The reason I'm not as big a fan with this kind of sticky tape as well is because it is quite strong, whereas with the one that you can put directly on, you can move stuff around a little bit easier, and obviously there's less faff because you don't have to you know, peel the second layer off and everything. The normal adhesive I use, literally you just point it down and like the adhesive comes down, rather than having to stick it down and take the next layer off. So I need to try and order some better adhesive online, but I mean this works fine. So after I've stuck down the polka dot sheet, I then decide to matte my photo. So I do this onto like a light pale pink kind of colour, which I've taken from a different paper pad, because obviously they were different sizes. Before that I try and decide actually which photos do I want on which page, and I've decided because I'm putting one photo on this page I want the background to be seen quite a lot, so I have put the one photo on. I just matte it to the pink paper, and then I've got to decide where I want it. I know you can't see that much of the pink paper, but I think by having that second level I just like the look of it. So once I've matted the photo, the first one by myself with my lovely strawberry acai, which I miss, it's like the best drink ever that you can get in America and Disney. I then decide whereabouts I want the photo, and then I get out my thickers. So these are, the one side of the sticker sheet is like a jadey, greeny, bluey kind of colour. And then the other side is silver, as you can see in the video, and I decided to go with this colour because I thought it went well with the photo. And as you can see, I'm taking ones off and moving them around, putting them back if I don't think they fit in place. The reason I put the bow at the top is because I actually ripped a tiny bit of the pink paper and thought, oh, I'll be able to hide that well. As you can see with some of them, I decided actually I don't want to add any more, it might be a bit glitter overload. So after this, I decided to then move on to my second layout on the opposite page, just so that I can see how it looks, because I don't want it to look too overbearing with too many embellishments. So for the next page, I again decide to mat my photos on this blue cardstock, which again I think I got from Hobbycraft quite a few years ago, just so that it makes it look a bit nicer, and also then the colour scheme all comes together. So whilst I'm doing this, I will do this with both photos, and then I have to try and find a way to overlap them. So I decided to play around with that for a bit. Do I want to crop them a bit, to move them around? And then I also decided to use the leftover pink paper from the matting the first photo to kind of create a base underneath, just because I know I want to put a little title on there. So now going back to the first page, I decide that I want to add a title. I am using my pink thickers, which I remember I did get these in America, and I think I got them from Tuesday Morning. And yeah, I thought these would go nicely with the pink background. As you can see, I haven't actually stuck the photo down yet, mainly because I want to get the stickers all in place before I do. I'm also putting the stickers in reverse order, just so that I know that they actually will fit the page. I've made an error before of starting off the title and realising that actually it won't all fit on. So by doing this, I found that it does help. As you can see, the L at the front, I was trying to get not too far away, but also enough so that it filled the page, and then the T I thought was slightly out of line. I found with scrapbooking, you could just keep messing with the pages. It's up to you how long you spend on them, but I found sometimes if I keep looking at them, I will keep changing things, moving things. So yeah, so I added that, as that photo was taken on my last night of my cultural programme in Disney. We were in Magic Kingdom, and it was extra magic hours, and we were just having a really fun time together. The reason we could stay for the extra magic hours is because we were staying in a Disney hotel that night, the night before we all went home. And yeah, I remember it was just such a lovely night, and we were trying to take as many photos as possible. And well, we're in 2020 now, and I'm still documenting the photos, so you can see how many there actually are. So then I go back to my second page and try and overlap the photos. I mean, I could have cropped them slightly to make them fit easier, but I just like both of them. It was of me in front of the castle with no one else in the shot, which is quite a rare picture to get. Obviously you can't see the castle that well, but I just really like these photos and thought it was really nice to document them. So what I've done here is I've put some adhesive on the pink paper, and I've stuck the two photos together, matted them, and now what I'm going to do is stick them actually onto the page with the double-sided tape. I cut the tape a bit too long, so I had to go diagonal. And yeah, that just makes it easier so that they're all joined together, so that when I'm adding any stickers or anything, they should be all linked together. So now I've stuck those down, I decided to go back to my stickers and see what stickers I want to add, what embellishments. Obviously the pages aren't as big as a 12 by 12 layout, so you don't want to put, well, I personally don't put too much on, although some of you might be looking at this thinking, yeah, you do, there's loads on there. But some of the stickers, as you can see, like that lovely one, they're really quite big. So I just looked through some of the stickers I'd pulled out to see which ones I wanted to add. As you can see, I've added an arrow down there, and then I think I mess around with a few different stickers now to see what I want where. Again, a tip I learnt from watching Tina on YouTube is to try and put embellishments in 3 places in a triangle shape. In doing so, I just like the effect it gives. I think it looks really nice. So So yeah, I've learnt a lot by watching her YouTube videos. Again, I'll link her down below. But what I'm doing here, which you can't really see in the shot, is I hadn't fully stuck down the photos. I'd put tape in certain corners, but not every corner. So I'd highly recommend making sure you've got all your corners down, because doing the double-sided tape while half of it's stuck down is a bit difficult, so as you can see. So yeah, just make sure that you do that. I decided to add Magic Kingdom into the title, as obviously this is where the photo was taken, even though it's quite obvious from the photo where it was taken. I used some smaller alphabet stickers that I have. I think these are Pink Paisley, the brand, from memory. And again, I start at the end of the title and work my way back. It just about fit on. I should have really moved the M over slightly more. And these are quite fiddly to put down, because sometimes they stick really well, sometimes not as well, especially when they are a few years old. But again, I can never get these perfectly straight or anything, but I just try my best with them, or try and stagger them sometimes. So I added that title there, so then it shows that we're at Magic Kingdom on our last night. Oh, and then the camera goes a bit blurry, so I have to fix it. But I picked up this Blessed thicker, well, it's not a thicker, but it's a really thick sticker, and it's kind of like a hard shell one. I picked that up and kind of moved it around to see where I wanted it, tried to get it to work, but then it was just a little bit too much, and I couldn't put it anywhere in the end. I kept trying that top corner, but I just didn't like the way it was blocking some of the castle out, and then it overlapped with the paper, so I decided against adding that in. After I decided against the Blessed sticker, I went to the Hello sticker to see if that would go in nicely, and then actually I went back to just deciding to have a small sticker at the top. Again, it was one of the hard shell ones at the top, because I thought that would look the nicest and most simple without being too much. So I was almost done with the layout, and I just thought it's missing something. I just wanted to add something in. So I went to, I think again it's a Pink Paisley kind of stash of little embellishments that you can add. There's probably a better term for it. And I went in there and tried to add a few things in at the different sides of the photos. And then I decided that I would add this little sheet of card underneath the second photo, so it opened up kind of like a tab, and it went with the colour scheme, so I thought that went nice. Like I said, you can play around with scrapbook pages for ages until you're happy with them, and even then you might want to change something. So I decided to add this in and then call it a day on the pages. Like I said, you can add as much as you want to a scrapbook page, or as little as you want. Some of my pages in this scrapbook literally have a coloured background in the photo, and that's it. Some have more detail, as you'll have seen at the beginning. They vary. It's completely up to you how you show your photos and how you want to scrapbook. And then at the end here you can see the finished pages. So we have the 2 photos of Magic Kingdom of our last night as cast members, and then the photo of me in Magic Kingdom with my strawberry acai. I was really happy with how the layout looks. Yeah, I was really happy with it, and I'm going to try and scrapbook some more this afternoon. So thank you so much for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and have a great day. Thanks for watching.